Okay, I will help you a little bit. Panerai is once again the official timepiece of the world's most important what?
Army.
The picture says
Music
no.
show.
Best dressed
Furniture
soldiers.
and interior design fair.
Oh, of course.
Kid you not.
Right, here we go. Greetings. Welcome to this week's aBlogtoWatch Weekly. You've just missed our vestigial clap. If you didn't tune in, that sounds worse than it means to. If you didn't tune in on aBlogtoWatch Weekly Live, which you should be doing, you should be getting on your YouTubes at 7:30. Because if I've got to do it at 7:30 in the morning, so should you. 7:30 in the morning, UK time, and you can tune into the show live if you can't wait for the edited version on a Friday. So, gentlemen, the most singularly important question in all of the watch world that's been going on this week. We've had Trump's tantrums, and to all of those who personally messaged me and says, back out of American politics, don't mention it, Trump will have no effect on the Swiss watch industry whatsoever. I say, Yabu sucks to you. But the most important thing this week for us to consider, Watches and Wonders, Trump tariffs, the whole 9 yards is, which brand had the best swag this week? Ripley, Ariel, swag awards.
It was a small year for swag. I think the swag was fairly underwhelming. I'm happy that Oris gave me a t-shirt because I ran out of clean clothes before my return flight, and I was so happy to have a clean shirt. Maybe underwear or socks would be really useful for next year. You can always use an extra pair of socks.
Oh, is it? I think they're missing a trick. I think socks and underwear, would be a good gig. Maybe if Oris is listening.
The most symbolic gift was from Hermès, the sleep mask, because the industry is clearly asleep.
Doxa gave a passport cover so we can all obscure the fact that we're American. And
so I get confused. Do we limit the conversation to Watches of Wonder brand exhibitors or like everyone?
No, I think everyone's fair game. Doxa's fair game. So what colour, on the basis that Doxa have multicoloured watches, what colour of passport case do they give you?
Black. And I feel like that's intentional.
Right.
Can I talk about Doxa right now? Ripley, you know what I'm about to say. So I was on their website and I like Doxa overall.
First mistake.
I sort of knew this. I already knew this, but then I realized, wow, if you're just looking at their website, you cannot choose a watch. They have so much redundancy. I had 4 different watches on my screen that are the same color. I showed my son. I was like, do you know which of these are different? He's like, I see they're all a little different, but I don't know how or why. And I was like, times that by 4, and that's all the watches that Doxa makes. Just look at the names of the watches. So I like Doxa, but I don't know how to help them make it so that people can select what Doxa to buy. Unless you're in a showroom and you see all 780 SKU variations. How are you supposed to choose what Doxa to get?
I can kind of help you. There's anything above the number 300 is just not going to work on a wrist if the size of mine. I do the 600. Everything bigger than 300 is quite large. The classic 300 wears smaller than the 300T, and that's because the 300 is the original one with the domed crystal. So you only get 300 meters. Now, if you're like, hey, I like the 300, but domed crystals just sort of seem passé, and I want more water resistance and professionalism, you get the 300T. T for totally excessive. You get 1,200 meters on that one, which let's forget the naming conventions. It makes no sense here because there is a 1,200. That's a different watch. And then you get a helium escape valve. Now, if you wanted something smaller, go to the 200 side. And I guess 250 gives you a millimeter bigger with the GMT. And then let's not touch the chronographs for now, but it does, there's a little bit of there. They make one watch, but then they make it for everybody. So if you looked at one and were like, I want this, but with a lot of water resistance, or I want this, but smaller. I want this with a little bit more of a vintage vibe and a chronometer certified movement. They will have something for everything. So it's all, you basically just choose one watch and then you kind of write down the things that are important to you, and you'll find that within them. But it is all basically the same watch.
I think you may have proven my point very well. I think you've demonstrated quite clearly that it's impossible to choose on the internet what Doxa to get.
And what I'm most curious about is I was looking at the 300 is my favorite. It's the classic. It's the original.
Tea? No tea?
No tea. No tea. I drink enough tea. I don't need the tea.
It's all about the tea.
We know, and the Americans had an answer for that long ago. I think we threw it in the harbor and poured ourselves a coffee.
And are you regretting it now?
Oh my God!
Is there an area of regret?
Is it too late to just come back and apologize? Oh, maybe we I don't know. The UK sounds pretty good. I don't mind being part of the UK or European Union or
free
Canada.
healthcare. You know,
I'm no closer to choosing a Doxa, by the way.
I don't know why Canada's not just suggesting that California and Washington doesn't just become a province of Canada. Anyway, a different subject.
Oh my God.
Ariel, if you could turn your volume up ever so slightly. We're doing live volume balancing here, and Boris is suggesting your volume may be a little low. I like this. This is good interaction.
It's as high as it'll go now, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So the swag count was low. What I would like to know about Watches and Wonders this year is there a way of describing the collective sound that an entire industry of executives makes when it wakes up on the Wednesday morning subject to 31% tariffs? Is there a noise that it just goes, oof?
Yes. I know the noise.
So describe the noise and tell me how the show changed from Tuesday to Wednesday, because I'm imagining Tuesday, oh, look what Rolex have done, blah, 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 blah. It's all Rolex, and then Wednesday, oof.
I actually want to say that while I will come up with a noise because it's funny, the show was remarkably muted about the tariffs. Outside of Watches and Wonders, like at the other shows, like Time to Watches, and I believe at the Beau Rivage, that's all anyone was talking about. At Watches and Wonders, not a soul mentioned this. And I was listening carefully. No brand or CEO or anybody brought up, what do you guys think? As though it doesn't happen. And it proved something that I have suspected for a long time and have hinted at. The watch industry doesn't respond until something is actually happening. There's no protective, there's no sense of trying to prevent something from happening. They don't preempt anything unless it's actively happening or has already happened or it's been happening for 10 years. They're like, okay, maybe we should do something. I feel that if you look at what they've been doing the last couple of years of raising prices too much, they finally got the message and they need to stop doing that. I think they don't care. I think they're like, you know what? We'll just absorb them. We've inflated our prices so high as it is.
So much.
We've protected ourselves. We're in a good position here. I don't really think they care. Some of the little brands are terrified because they feel it'll kill their competitive edge, make it impossible for them to get parts to assemble watches without issues. I mean, honestly, if there's anyone in the industry that needs to worry the most, it's American companies that produce their watches with foreign parts. Okay. Though that's probably the first, and that's a niche, but it exists. Those people need to worry before anyone else. But Swiss watch brands selling watches in the United States, I honestly actually have to agree with them. It's far too early to make a determination as to what will actually happen. But if there was a noise, it would be this. It would be the sound that a mechanical alarm makes at the very end, sort of sputters out a little bit. You know,
David,
it's just...
Cue David and his Vulcane.
Yeah, maybe David knows this. The very end of the mechanical alarm going off
just goes... Woof.
Just sounds like a robot's about to have just ending a heart attack, its last breath. That's the depleted sound.
Yeah. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning. A bit of a fractious mood this morning. Couldn't find my earphones. My stuff is still all over the place. It's just like, it's been a long week last week. And, it's a bit too soon, a bit too early. But I won't complain. It's just the state of the matters at this point. But that's okay. We'll soldier on.
So we've had our swag debate. Favorite piece of swag from the show this week collected, David?
Jeez, nothing. It's bad all around.
It's bad.
You know,
that was a general
it's basically, yeah, it's the state of the industry at this point.
We had dinners where other media members were like, remember swag from 10 years ago? Like, I was talking about the reminiscing, but it wasn't just the parties and the good times and the money. They started missing swag. And it used to be that you'd have literally shopping bags full of swag. You'd have to think you couldn't take it all. You didn't want to spend all the money to ship it. So you're like, who gets to be very happy? Like the person that cleans my hotel room, or maybe someone who's a door person. Who could I give like 18 pounds of chocolate to? Those days are over, but they did exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, last year, the aBlogtoWatch team gave everything that was too large to fit in any of our suitcases to a lovely German man, and he was very, very happy to have it.
Okay.
Random German guy, huh?
Random
No,
German
we were
guy?
hanging out with him in the hotel bar
okay.
at the NBU.
Okay.
It
Slightly
had been
less
all
random.
week. It had been all week, and at the end of it, it's like this is larger than any of our suitcases. Do you want this wooden puzzle that is literally the size of a box of boots?
Was there any the swag thing I like is those things which are likely to get you stopped going through airport security. I seem to was it MB&F had the wee thing that sparked like a flint a few years ago, or was that Geneva Watch Days?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Any sign of anything that was going to get anybody stopped because it either was the shape of a weapon or was combustible, and it was actually a weapon or was combustible.
So Rolex gave a very weird gift that was a glass cylinder that was meant to hold like a single long candle. I don't know.
No candle
if
included.
It's dangerous, though. If you broke it, it could be a mighty glass sharp weapon. That was one of the weirder ones.
Who's that?
Cool.
Rolex.
Okay. This is when David realizes he didn't get one.
The Rolex candlestick holder. It does exist, everyone.
David is now angrier.
I got some weird stuff from Rolex. It's basically like little rounded leather holders for things, I guess. So
Rolex has a whole internal company that makes all this stuff.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Ariel and I found this out when we had met with them, that it's all of the decor that you see in their boutiques, this isn't something that they outsource or they order per spec off a catalog. They actually design all of that themselves. So the next time you're in there and looking at some Rolex thing on the shelf, just know that was designed by the same company that made the watch.
If they don't make watches anymore, they can completely fall back to corporate gifts and decor.
Yeah, what's their slogan for "This is all we make, but we make it all," or something to that effect? You know, they do make it all, literally, even the little bookends in the boutique.
All right, okay. So is that considered a demotion? Like if you don't make it as a Rolex watch designer, being able to iterate tiny design cues year to year, then you get demoted to the design the swag department.
When it's the swag, it gets made. Think of all the watches their designers make that never get made. That's demoralizing.
So
maybe it's the top of the ladder. Once you've graduated and you've iterated all you can on their iconic designs, you're left with, well, do you want to make candlestick holders and little leather containers for things? It's like, yeah, actually, I think I would. I would like that.
I think it's an interesting conceit that actually the top designers in Rolex work for the marketing department and not actually in watchmaking. Yeah,
I could design the new Submariner. It's going to look a lot like the old Submariner. I can't design a chair. I would have no idea where to even start.
I can't draw a teddy bear, but I can draw a watch. I get all the proportions wrong with the legs and the arms.
Oh, speaking of bears, did you see the Oris bear makeover?
No. Is he come back as a Terminator or something?
Kind of. It's Terminator 2.
I ignored them. Tell me what I missed.
Oris, along with their rebranding to a pink and green color palette, have apparently rebranded Oris Bear as this chrome 2000 Terminator 2 looking thing. There's a giant thing. Like when you walked in the booth, there's this huge chrome Oris Bear, and then there's a smaller one in the window of the booth. And it looks like Oris Bear is now properly in the space era. I'm that. But
wearing a pink leotard.
Oh, he's more ambiguous than ever.
Yes. Oris have gone woke. Is that what we're suggesting?
Wow. Is this really what the industry needed?
You guys will not be familiar with who Big Daddy is.
You sure about that?
This is the yeah. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I hope you're not familiar with who Big Daddy is. I'm going to pull up a picture of Big Daddy in a wee moment while you discuss another thing that's really important. While we avoid talking about actually what happened at Watches and Wonders, obviously lots of international travel. A blog to watch, watches. Any good films on the way across? Featuring watches?
I saw the Brutalist.
Oh, I don't imagine that had a lot of watch content, did it?
Well, they're wearing watches, but the thing is this: if you take the movie and rather than him making a building, make a watch, it's like the same story. So I think that there's a analogy if you take sort of this struggling, architect and you say, like same type of personality, but designing a watch takes many, many years. People are against you. You got to get the funding. People call you crazy for wanting it your way. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is the exact same mentality that needs to go into making a watch. So I found parallels there. Let's put it that way.
Okay, all I can say is I probably shouldn't have Googled Big Daddy in a pink leotard. Just saying, for the record, don't Google that.
I could have told you that.
This is Big Daddy, and I want to... Actually, I need to check that I'm clicking the right link here.
Yeah.
Let's close that link. So this is Big Daddy, and I would... So this is
not what I was expecting.
Not a pink leotard, but I'm suggesting that there is some similarity between that and this picture on Oris's. So I think, yeah, there we go. Somebody's been a fan of 1980s ITV wrestling drama.
I think that's actually how the Oris management team dresses on their off time.
And their own
leotards of various colors. As long as it's pastel. It's a pastel leotard, they're wearing it.
Yeah, your choice is you either come as a Muppet Show character or a 1980s ITV wrestler, pre-WrestleMania. Right,
so do they have anything worth talking about in the watch department? Was it as forgettable as I imagine? Does anybody
have anything worth talking about in the watch department this year? Let's go to this screen. This is the entire... all of the brands that were present, 60 of them at this year's Watches and Wonders. So as I scroll down here, select me a brand that you want to talk about. Somebody that made an impact, either positively or negatively. It's in alphabetical order. So A-Lang is on at Alpine. We're only going to have time to do 4 or 5, so choose carefully. Where would you like to stop first as I scroll down these?
Are we going like good rant, bad rant? Gotta give me some direction here.
I'm interested in any kind of rant. We should actually possibly stop at Chanel first. Ariel, did you manage to get onto what did Chanel upset you the most this year?
No. I had a relatively relaxed. I was working the entire time, but I didn't go to a lot of these meetings. Other team members at Chanel, I know they had the same thing but blue. But other than that, I didn't go there. I didn't see it.
Right. Okay.
So did Zenith apparently.
We did have the Mornington Crescent game for watch brands, which I think Rolex won because they genuinely did produce a brand new watch, unlike everybody else who seemed to iterate.
Chronoswiss had at least 2 completely new cases and stuff like that. So that Pulse won. Mm-hmm. You may not like it, but that's actually the most original watch of the entire show.
They get minus points for using this kind of exploded watch thing. This is quite nice. We did speak about this a week or so ago. This case design. Did you get to try it on?
Yeah, it's cool looking case. The case is really the best part. In the crown, there's this sort of concave polished element, which is really neat looking. Look, I'm not saying this has to be your favorite watch, but from everything I've seen, this was genuinely the most new looking.
A contender for the most new looking. So that's Chronoswiss. Gentlemen, elsewhere you would like to visit?
Lots of things I can rant about. I have to say something about Bell & Ross. Bell & Ross. Here we go. Like Bell & Ross, they had some decent stuff, some not so decent stuff. This is my problem. It is the anniversary of the BR1. They state that it is the anniversary of the BR1. How do they celebrate the anniversary of the BR1? With a BR3 and a BR5?
The BR3.
No new BR1 for the anniversary of the BR1. They don't even mention it's the anniversary of the BR1.
Never let them guess your next move.
I hate anniversaries. Finally a brand that's like, what?
Stuff it.
They said for the anniversary of the BR1, we're releasing these other models. That's watch hilarious. Right there. Yeah. Like, I mean, do you not have the molds still? I mean, I know you haven't made a BR1 in a while, but like, did you forget how to do it?
Wasn't the BR3 like the more modernized version of the BR? It's
just smaller. It's the same thing.
Maybe they're just saying we should forget the BR1 and just pretend the BR3 is the BR1.
Then don't actually mention it. Like, don't say it's the anniversary of the BR1. Say it's the anniversary of our instrument watch that's square, blah, 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 blah. Don't say BR1.
Why? Why does it upset you so much?
Because I like the BR1 and I feel like they're bastardizing it. They're like embarrassed of their own watch. That's why.
Well, in the chat, people want us to go and have a look at this Nomos. This seems to have been getting lots of good reports, but I really fail to see why, personally.
It's cool.
Did you visit the Nomos stand?
Yeah, I like these. They had a world timer before. From a functional perspective, this is largely the same, but it's a lot more legible and more intuitive, in my opinion. This sort of combines what we like about the club, the legibility, the sportiness, the water resistance, and the bright colors with the world timer, which was previously in the Zurich model. This doesn't really look like any other Nomos model. It still looks like a Nomos. You get a screw down crown, 100 meters of water resistant, very useful. Kind of world time function. But I think why people liked it was it was successful. It was fun. It was, complicated enough so that you couldn't just say it was the same time only watch in a new dress. But it's attainable. And, part of Watches and Wonders, and I say this in a blurb where, spoiler alert, this is one of the ones we chose to feature in it, is that it's such a luxury centric show that, everything, we almost get jaded that everything has these 5, 6, 7 figure price points. And this is a mid 4-figure price point. It comes in under $5,000. And it's kind of nice to have something that you can get excited about that gives you a complication and is wearable. And you could, 100 meters, screw down crown, and that you could actually buy. So many of the watches I saw, it's like, well, even if I sold all my non-essential organs, I'm still coming up short on it. So I think that's part of why people like it. And it's the same reason people like Tudor. They can get excited about something and then actually plan to maybe purchase it rather than wondering, is it going to be this or my children's education?
I'm just not sure about this 2 and this 4 overlapping. This looks like they tossed a coin. Do we cut the edges off the 2 and the 4? Or do we make it overlap the blue and the red ring? David,
I like
Ariel,
the overlap.
Did you visit Nomos?
Yeah, I saw this. Look, I mean, it's as exciting as the Zurich in a different case, which was very popular. As Ripley said, it's a lot of good watch for the money. It works well. You don't have to worry about it like not functioning. It's their own mechanism. And this is the best thing. It's got this button. You can just keep playing with it. And every time you push it, the little colors change. It's a great sort of like fidget watch.
Is there an element to which Nomos are kind of bound by their own design language? This is about as non-Bauhaus as they can get. They've kind of boxed in with what you expect them to look like.
No one there knows the word Bauhaus anymore. You know that.
Oh, is that right? They're just ignoring that. Okay,
they have their brand design language, which is, even if it's related to Bauhaus, it's just Nomos brand stuff. And they can, like everyone else, shove more windows in there. That's okay.
Okay,
more dials,
next
more windows.
brand. Anyone? Where else would you like to visit in the wide world of brands? Any of the wee guys? Oh, I know who we need to go and visit. We need to go and visit U-Boat, because you were all curious as to what on earth U-Boat were doing at Watches and Wonders to start with. Did anyone go and see the U65 hyper-curved watch that breaks the rules? I'm sure that phraseology was an instant deduction in our scoring system, suggesting that anything they do breaks the rules. Anybody see this delight from U-Boat? I assume they were in the wee area of little booths that make you feel like you're at some sort of village fete on the day. No? You're all looking blank, Matt. Did you even realize U-Boat were there still?
I walked by them briefly. Not enough. Like, here's the thing about U-Boat. Unlike all the other brands who like make you want to know what their watches are from afar, like you have to like crawl inside of the U-Boat place to be like, what's new in here? I'm like, I'm just not going in there. It's one of the most weirdly like themed. Like, it definitely looks like someone's living room, but it's, Idolo Fatana's living room. It's a bit weird.
I really don't love that they make the bubble in there.
That's bad. That's not good.
It's so 1990s.
Like, the hardest thing to do when you're hydro modding a Casio is to make it so you don't have that bubble in the case when you fill it up with oil.
Is that like my quartz watch broke? Like, what is that?
It does appear to be a random assortment of cogs and wheels. They don't look like they're connected to very much.
I feel like someone needs to fix it.
I mean, there's a battery in it, so I don't understand what the cogs and wheels are doing.
If those are just decorative, I'm going to scream.
Is it a quartz? It's not just a quartz watch. I'm confused.
Does it have a little like a suggestive sculpture in the dial there? Is that what that is?
It's like a chat GPT.
The
build me a watch.
essence of mechanical, but nowhere near it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Anyway, right. Joseph, that U65 is an ugly watch. Okay, Joseph is also asking Arnold and Son.
Oh, I saw that. I shot that watch.
Arnold and Son. That
watch was nice, I guess.
Apparently, not enough people are talking about the Constant Force Tourbillon 11. It's a very pretty looking watch.
I got news for you, and I think David and Ripley could test this. No one's ever cared about any Constant Force watch. We've tried to get them to be excited. Gerard Perregaux had a whole watch, named it. No one cared still. So I'm into it. Okay. I'm into it. No one cares, though.
The Constant Force element was a footnote in the Jacob & Co. presentation. They're talking about the quad-axis tourbillon. They're talking about the speed that it moves. They're talking about everything. And literally in half a sentence at the very end of the presentation, it was said, oh, and by the way, because of how power hungry this quad axis, astronomy at tourbillon is, we had to implement a constant force mechanism to make sure it spun properly. Anyway, you'll enjoy the caviar and champagne off to the left. It was barely mentioned in there. So yes, even the brands who are implementing it are aware that the public doesn't really seem to want to talk about constant force mechanisms, regardless of how interesting they are.
We've been asked to take a look at the movement of the U-boat. I can't see any pictures of the movement of the U-boat.
And you never will.
Yeah, it's probably by design. They filled it with oil to prevent you from...
They filled it with water and then coloured the water with black dye. Okay. Votes for stand of the year. Oh, and did any stands have a top public toilet available to members of the press? That was one of your top criteria.
No, but more had air conditioning.
Right, okay. So best stand of the year?
There was a new upstairs section to the Norqain booth with its own air conditioning unit and beverages, and no one knew it was there, and you could hide.
So Ariel spent the day hiding. Were you hiding from Norqain's own releases? This is the question. What did you make? The independent skeleton chrono.
I like that watch a lot, except for the dial. I said, that's not a dial that's going to last for very long. And they're like, really? I'm like, yep. So they can
you don't
get
want
on
skeletonized mountains on your dial?
That dial's one hell of a mess. And again, great case, lightweight, actually cool movement. Dial hands and not doing it any favors. So I'm here to help, Norqain. I am. But if you are into the mountain suggestive skeleton, I don't know what I don't know where you wear this watch. Like, where?
Well, if you recall, we did say that anyone that produced a limited edition of over 500 watches was getting minus points for every one over the limited edition. This is a limited edition of 500. How many watches do you think Norqain actually produce? Because I would have thought 500 is probably quite a significant portion of their overall production and is therefore in no way a limited edition.
it might not be all in one year. So this came up during our meeting with Urwerk. There was a limited edition of 100 pieces, and I look at them, ask them, how many watches do you make a year? And the answer is about a couple hundreds. And so that 100 pieces is going to be trickled out over about 3 or 4 years. There's no way that they're going to make 50, 60% of their production this one limited edition T-Rex themed model. So maybe that's kind of what Norqain's doing. It's a limited edition of 500, but it's not going to be a flash in the pan. You'll be able to get it for a little while.
So you saw this on our own website rather than watching the Urwerk UR101 T-Rex watch. Do they call it the T-Rex watch?
Yes, of course. They all have names. It's the Polaris, it's the Eagle, it's the T-Rex, it's the Spock. You know, they've all got their names, even if they're not, formally part of it. But yeah, this is the T-Rex.
Don't ask me my opinion, please. This
looks like your wrist.
This is my wrist.
Ripley. Ariel, give us your opinion.
It's ugly. I like Urwerk a lot.
Pretty watch,
but this is oof. Yeah,
it's just not what I want.
It's like
from
designed
Urwerk.
to be left alone on the forest floor.
It's a tough.
I'm not picking that up.
I
can't eat that. I can't chew it. That doesn't look comfortable to sit on. I'm moving away from that thing.
You definitely picked that up with a plastic bag.
I don't think to myself, that's pretty. I'll put it on. No.
It's just, it's different from the brand. The case shape's inspired by the Millennium Falcon, as other UR 100 pieces have been. But, when we think of Urwerk, we think of like space age, sci-fi stuff, intricate mechanics, cool mechanisms, carousel displays, convoluted turbine systems that simultaneously add shock resistance and, influence the winding ability of it.
And then there's this.
Pointless equations on the side that track like the speed of the Earth rotation and stuff like that. And then this, you kind of get none of it. It's this cool bronze pattern, which I guess is nice. And it's done in a multi-stage process. So they kind of is like pre-patinated when you get it. And it's not supposed to turn green, but rather kind of darken gracefully. But it seems, I don't want to say boring, but where's the cool mechanics that make it an Urwerk? Yeah, it's got an interesting display system, but then you flip it over and you look at the case back and there's nothing to be had there whatsoever. The one cool thing about it is on the case back, there's this little slidey lever thing. And so instead of using your nail to pull out the crown on the top, you slide this lever and it pushes the crown out for you. And it also, with that being on the case back, angles the watch slightly at you on the wrist. So it's easier to view kind of a la driver's style since the display's at the top. But compared to some other Urwerk stuff where like you can spend 15 minutes just staring at it and still not fully understand the mechanics, this does seem just a little bit too simple and pared back, but it is quite wearable considering many Urwerks are massive, chunky spaceship things. So there is that.
There is that.
I'm going to use your term from earlier. That literally has vestigial lugs.
Vestigial, the word of the year in the watch industry, vestigial. Right. Parmigiani gets a shout out in the chat. The Parmigiani green skeleton watch. I'm not sure if we have a picture of that on Parmigiani's own. Oh, there we go. What do we think of Parmigiani? I'm not convinced, although people have said it's very legible, that the blue, their new blue watch, which is this one here, the Toric Quantième Perpetual. Everyone says it's really legible. It doesn't look very legible in the photos. Hold on, I'll share the screen properly there. Did you get to see this?
Yeah.
I saw it. I didn't shoot this one, but it's not that legible, no.
No.
It's simple.
David? Yeah, folk had said it was very legible, which confused me because
if it's blown up on a screen like this, but that's not what it looks like on your wrist.
Yeah, fair enough. If it's not going to look like that, then there's no use. The green skeleton is this one.
Why do the hands need to be skeletonized? They had some new chronographs that were just some new colors. Those are probably the strongest ones, but that's, again, existing stuff.
They normally like to produce a fun. Like the last few years, they've produced like a novelty with a complication that's not really existed before, like a different way of thinking about GMT hands on it. Was there anything particularly special about Parmigiani this year?
I mean,
Well,
aren't they still in the mode of not trying to spend money?
I think they're all gorgeous watches. The green one is particularly nice. It is kind of illegible at first, and especially on pictures. Once you have it on, you will just realize that you have to flick your wrist a little bit, and then it actually works. So it's not that bad. This blue one is kind of disappointing in the sense that it tries to appear simple, but it just does not. So it looks complicated and simple at the same time. You're just not sure what it is. It's not super legible, but it is what it is. I'm not sure. We've seen better, like from Moser and from others who try to underplay or underrepresent the complexity of a perpetual, and succeed long before this watch came out with the blue dial. So I don't think that that's going to be particularly great. This green one is gorgeous, especially with the movement and the plates being, giving it the color and not the dial. Is a particularly smart choice.
Right.
Yeah, the hands are not that great. I wish they were solid too.
Yeah. Cool. That was Parmigiani. Chopard. Let's visit Chopard. Chopard's normally quite a fun place to be at Watches and Wonders. Was it a fun place to be this year?
You mean Parmigiani?
No, Chopard.
Chopard.
Ariel and I saw a lot of the watches they were releasing when we met with them before the show. Obviously they've got the new Platinum Alpine Eagle, but I think probably the coolest is that High Beat.
Yes.
That watch itself was cool, and I think the new one is just as cool as the previous one. I think it's refreshing to see the Alpine Eagle like kind of blacked out in this quasi-tactical manner, but all the platinum stuff does feel objectively very impressive.
Okay, so how many clicks do we think to get to the High Beat on Chopard's website?
So many clicks. They didn't even send all of them in a single press release. Half of them came in a week later.
So 1, 2... It is an Alpine Eagle, isn't it?
It is an Alpine Eagle. It
should be. That's 3 clicks.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. There we go. Is this the new one, though? Yes. Is that the new one? Yes, 41 mil.
That's
it is
amazing.
Nice. It is a nice looking watch. If I was having a Chopard, I'd definitely have that one. That looks uber cool. It's ceramitized. No, there's not a T in it, so it's not ceramitized. Ceramized titanium. 41 mil. High Beat watch. Right, we're going to be playing Hitmas maybe soon. So before we do that, anywhere else, gentlemen, you would like to visit in the wide world of watches and wonders, or any other brands?
Ulysse Nardin, and they only had one watch. The Diver Air, or the Diver in brackets Air.
Yes, there we go. The latest. I didn't really understand this watch. Was anybody really demanding an incredibly lightweight dive watch?
No one demands any of this stuff, but it is incredibly cool. The whole watch, strap included, weighs less than 52 grams, less than a tennis ball. It uses a lot of recycled materials, so even the carbon composite part of the case is called Nyla foil. It's lighter than normal carbon composite, and it uses some recycled fishing nets as the binding agent for the carbon. The silicon parts for the escapement are claimed from Sega Tech. The carbon that's used has been reclaimed from boat hulls. The titanium's also reclaimed. But I think part of why it's impressive in the hand is because we have such a point of reference for what Ulysse Nardin diver watch should feel like. We've been feeling them in various executions for years. It's a large piece at 44 millimeters. And this is less than half of the weight of the Diver X skeleton, which was already the lighter version of the standard diver. So your brain has a very kind of clear image of what this should feel like. And then when you hold it in your hands and it's a mere fraction of that, it is kind of cool to feel. It's the same way as you feel like an ultralight Richard Mille. Your brain does a double take and you're wondering where the rest of it is. And it's 38,000 rather than like 380,000. So within the realm of like hyper tech skeletonized ultralight watches, it's not that outrageous. And of course, the bridges of the movement are titanium and all of that to, make it lighter.
I like this one a lot
too.
Right. I thought it was
Kevin in while we're.
It was like a budget Richard Mille feeling, but it was still a tool watch. So it had this combination of being technically impressive, but it wasn't illegible. Like, it was very easy to read on the wrist, which was great.
How much is it?
38,000.
That doesn't seem unreasonable.
Right. It doesn't seem unreasonable. And it's not a limited edition. So this isn't, limited production because, again, they're not going to make this a significant portion of their catalog. But, I do have to commend them for making kind of a halo piece, if you will, for the diver collection, and then not, capping it at some, asinine number of examples just to, make artificial exclusivity around it. They made something cool. They're going to make it available. Anyone who wants one with the means should be able to get it. That's kind of refreshing for a timepiece of this nature.
So it's 38,000 Swiss francs for everybody except the Americans, for which it will be 49,780 by the time you add the 31%. There you go. You voted for them. Right.
You're good at math.
I had to see how I did that in my head. I thought that was really quite clever of me.
That was great.
Right, Kevin. Kevin has joined us. Hello, Kevin. How are you? Can Kevin speak?
Good morning.
Does Kevin have the...
Can you hear me?
He does.
Yeah.
He can wave. Yep. Okay,
Kevin,
can you turn yourself up a smidgen so as we can hear you? If you can move the mic closer to your gob, that would be good. And give us a sound check. Say hello.
Hello.
Well, you're a bit quiet. Yeah, there you just need to shout. You're just a bit quiet in the mix there.
From the rooftops.
Yes. Excellent. What are you shouting about from the rooftops, having experienced Watches and Wonders this year?
How much champagne I drunk.
I'm so glad that everyone goes to Watches and Wonders and comes back so enthused by the watches and not the swag and the free food.
I didn't see any watches.
That was a watch show. Yeah. You see, it was just a blur. It was like you were like the U-boat. You just had some air in you the whole time, just a big bubble. Kevin was repping for U-boat with just champagne bubbles throughout him. Maybe that's the thing. Has anybody asked what the bubble in the U-boat watch actually is? Maybe it's not air. Maybe it's something highly exotic. Anyway, Kevin, your most impressive brand that you saw, was this your first Watches and Wonders, wasn't it?
Third.
You've been to it before?
Oh, yes. 100%. Yeah, third time.
Good stuff. So how did this compare to previous?
I would say the quality of the champagne was better than last year's. However, yes, I'm still hungover. Yeah.
Yep, that's the chat.
On a serious note, though, it was certainly busier than last year, and the watches were certainly overall the watches which were on show was better than last year. Most definitely, there was more innovation, shall we say, on various stands. Some stands were just absolutely horrible. Panerai. Never mind.
How dare you? How very dare you?
I had to get
something against the color blue.
Oh my god!
If you can't think of a good reason for needing a perpetual calendar while diving, then frankly I don't wish to know you.
But there was some
right.
interesting brands, interesting stuff that I got to see, and also Time to Watches was next door as well. Shout out to them. They were excellent as well. Great location. Didn't have to travel back into Geneva to see them. And, of course, Beau Rivage is Beau Rivage. Hey.
Yep. All the hangers-oners there, and the coattails, as Mr. Rolex would say, the coattails of PAL Expo hang around the Beau Rivage. Ariel has just briefly left us as his PC has crashed. Right, let's do hit miss maybe. The way we're going to do this is we're going to go through them quickly to choose your favourite watch of the show, personally, and your least favourite. So a watch you absolutely would give a hit to, and a watch you would absolutely give a miss to, and then we'll decide whether we agree with you or not. So, Kevin, you get to go first. What was your absolute hit of the show?
God, I wish you'd told me earlier.
I only just made it up 20 seconds ago, so,
I would say, Chopard. Oh, Chopard. Yeah, I know. Chopard, they did ladies' watches, which came in a box of 12, I believe. So different diamonds, different gemstones.
Okay.
And ladies' size watches, which came in a massive box. And, I think it's about 1.2.
Yeah. Okay. So. Okay, I'm trying to find a picture of the Chopard box of watches. Is this how you justified going to watch the one? As you said, you bring your wife back a box of 12 Chopard watches?
Well, I did put down a deposit, but she said, no, Kevin, don't be so stupid. I'll stick with Baltic or Rolex. So, yeah. But I did offer, but she said no.
Okay, I'm just trying to find the Chopard. I can't see any pictures of it, but I assume they all looked pretty much like this. Gentlemen, David, Ripley, did you see the box or the selection box of Chopard watches?
No.
No, and I'm kind of glad. That seems like an absolute chore to shoot among all of their other novelties. Oh, you wanted 12 for this one? It makes the Master of Sapphire set for Hublot look tame.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no one has mentioned Hublot very much during Watches and Wonders. I feel I don't know if they're just.
It's a good thing because it's not bad news.
It's the same stuff.
There was nothing. Stuff.
There wasn't anything like really, really new. It was like throwback pieces, box sets of pieces, material variations or colorways of existing models. It wasn't like in past years where there was something completely bonkers that we haven't seen before. Obviously, I love neon yellow Saxum, so the Master Sapphire set is cool. I get a bunch of different clear, very expensive watches to a tune of $600,000+. But, I don't think there was anything good or bad from them that was going to be, the talking point of the show. There were too many other noteworthy things, both good and bad, that captured the attention and comments of our readers.
So obviously this Chopard thing is going to be a bit difficult to hit this one because no one's seen it except Kevin. But that doesn't stop us judging. Imagine in your mind's eye a collection of 12 Chopards.
What was the price though, Kevin? Do you recall even like within $100,000? You know what the price of this 12 box set was?
I think it was about 1.2 million.
Okay,
quite affordable.
Imagine for yourselves a box of £1.2 million worth of Chopard watches, and for our American listeners, that is £1.57 million worth of Chopard watches.
I don't think the box that I live within is worth 1.2 million. So I mean, this is okay.
Ariel's back in the chat. Ariel, did you see the collection box of Chopard ladies watches that Kevin claims to have witnessed?
I didn't go to the Chopard meeting because I met with them a little bit before, but that's a very pretty timepiece.
Yeah, right. Well, let's give a vote. Hitmas maybe on the ladies' collection that only Kevin has seen. 1, 2, 3, go. Anybody in the chat saw this that was at Watches and Wonders?
Don't know how to
feel free
vote
to vote
on that.
So I have no idea. So we'll give it a hit. We'll give it a hit and miss. I'm sure it was probably both.
I'm sure it was gorgeous.
The biggest maybe ever.
Okay, Kevin, give us your worst watch of the show, and you're not allowed to select. Well, we're going to rule out Bremen. And we're going to rule out U-Boat. You can select any other brand you like.
That leaves you with so many options, Kevin.
Or most disappointing. I'll say worst, most disappointing watch of the show. And then we'll see if we agree with you.
You know it's coming, Rick. I even sent you pictures of it.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Hold on. So I just go to the Panerai website. Is that what you're saying?
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Panerai. Here we go. This is where I lose my discount loyalty card from Panerai. So which one? The perpetual calendar in particular? I'm trying to find it.
The new Luminor was...
Discover more.
The Luminor was okay, but it was the skeletonized...
the skeletonized one, yeah.
There was the skeletonized one?
Let's see if they maybe haven't even put it on their own.
It wasn't
mini
skeletonized.
website.
It had like a transparent dial, right?
The calendar one?
Yeah, nothing was skeletonized.
They did have a planetarium a Jupiterium.
What exactly is a Jupiterium?
Are we going by imaginary watches now? I imagine the great Panerai and a bad one.
Is it till Jupiter time?
We're just making it up. Okay, the Panerai website is crashed, which is not.
That is exactly Panerai right there.
Does it imagine Jupiter being the center of
the image
world?
Yeah, the image is not loaded, so you know there you go. Maybe they wish the image hadn't loaded. We'll go for this. The Jupiter. How do you pronounce that?
No, that's not the Jupiterium. That's the. Scroll down. There you go. That's the Jupiterium.
It's not even a watch.
Apologies. Not even a watch.
It's also like 3 times bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be something you could put on your desk and impress people with who came into your...
You know that.
Oh, I know. And they made it, they made it to size. This thing was massive. I thought this was going to be like a baseball, softball size thing. Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, it glows in the dark.
That's what they're excited about, the loom? Oh, gosh.
It glows in the dark. Right, okay. Hit miss maybe on the Jupiterium. Do we agree with Kevin? I think that's a hit. Listen, if I've got all the money in the world, I'm buying that. Yeah, it's a hit. We all love Panerai. We all, from here on in, we all love Panerai.
For years, we've been saying make something that isn't a lumen or a radiomir, and they did. And it's not even a watch, but like we have to commend them for doing something different. So
is that different? Really?
Did they already have this in their catalog?
I'm pretty sure that they've had planetariums before. I don't know why the brands they don't make it, they don't design it, they just slap their name on it, and like 5 people buy it, and they're like, "Oh, we'll make news out of that." Like this is the lamest, least Panerai thing. Like at least when Ulysse Nardin used to do this, they're like, "Oh, we have this other thing. It's a watch. We get it. Are you sure you want to see it?" Here they just have to they throw the loom in there as though like you're looking at an underwater shot of a diving watch. Like why? How is the loom ever going to be useful? You could buy those little stickers. You know the little stickers of the stars, the planets the kids put in the ceiling? Boom, you want loon planets? Cost you $5.
Yeah, I do wonder whether, I mean, in the same way as the Rolex, the pinnacle of Rolex design is designing the swag, maybe the pinnacle, a Panerai designer who's got to make everything.
Come on.
Yeah, but it's either that or you have to make the next Luminor look exactly like the previous Luminor.
They did that too.
What are your options?
To be fair, this isn't even a design. This is a representation of what exists in our surrounding solar system. This was designed by God. This isn't even something anyone designed.
David is currently contemplating his life choices.
This is way too soon, guys. I mean, this is way too soon.
Camera. If anyone would like to see a watch journalist have a mental breakdown live, tune in to aBlogtoWatch Weekly Live on YouTube. Okay, right. That's Kevin. That's your choices. David, seeing as you're a man already under pressure, let's put it back to you. So the watch that you think was the biggest hit that we should all try and agree or disagree with?
Well, the watch that I want the most from the fair is the 8 hertz high frequency Chopard Alpine Eagle.
So Chopard's currently getting quite a lot of love.
And you know why? Because I listened to it and I it's just to hear this frantic little movement.
David sitting in a corner listening to watches speak to me.
It's the one that I want because it's a busy little movement. It sounds like it's working twice as hard as all other movements, and I really respect that. So I found that particularly relatable and cute.
I'm just trying to find it here on the screen for those tuning in. Alpine Eagle, we've already been to here, but there we go. We're back. That was easy. Alpine Eagle 41 SL Cadence 8 HF.
It has a ceramized titanium case and movement. So that's pretty cool that the movement is crafted from titanium as well. So the whole thing is pretty light, looks great. Also comes with an orange strap, which I like, and it's too expensive for what it is still. But whatever, it's funky, it looks great. I love it.
As in the chat saying he's still got stars glowing on the roof of his kids' rooms after 30 years. So there you go. I think it'll last significantly longer than the Panerai will. Right, let's give this a hit miss. Maybe 1, 2, 3, go. It's got to be a hit, surely. Got to be a hit.
Hit.
Hit of the show, possibly. All things considered. So David, most disappointing.
Well, I will align with Kevin once again. It was the perpetual from Panerai that I mocked many moons ago on this podcast for having Italian text on it to make it look like as though they made an effort. The whole thing is just bad. It really is as though, sometimes there's the kid who fails the most at class and they still really try and they get maybe a D just so that they can pass. But the whole thing is back to front and just really bad. And the perpetual is perfectly like that. Everyone and their mom has made a perpetual at this point. But Panerai was like, no, we got this. It's going to be called the Calendario Perpetuo. And it will offer nothing. It will look really quite bad. The whole thing is bad. But actually, the worst in this was the redesign of the Luminor Marina, I guess. The whole thing is still way too expensive, too cheaply made. The whole thing is just bad all around. I really want Panerai to finally come back to its strengths in the next couple of years. Hopefully we will see that happen. And if not, that's all good too.
Yeah. Okay. So possibly in some sort of inevitable way, I'm giving it a hit. Well, everybody else gives it a miss. So 1, 2, 3, go.
What are we voting on?
The Panerai, the perpetual calendar.
The thing,
Azad
whichever
has
you
joined
want.
us. Azad has only been let in on the provision that he gives it a hit. He should understand. There we go.
It's so bad.
Right.
So bad.
That's it. That's what I'd see. Right.
Oh,
Right at this moment, I received an email that says Panerai is once again the official timepiece of, and I will let you guys have a guess on what it is once again the official timepiece of.
Its own
boat.
Yeah.
Official timepiece of its own shops. Official timepiece of elephant polo.
Okay, almost.
Any advance?
There were some teams, some boating.
Goldfish racing.
The Luna Rosa.
Goldfish racing. Is it a sport? Is it a sport?
Has to be.
Well, no.
Well,
it's. I will tell you.
Oh wait,
Or
the
is it a
Italian
game?
military, because it exists again. There you go. It's got to be the Italian
world
Navy. They're back, everyone. Fight Russia.
I will help you a little bit. Panerai is once again the official timepiece of the world's most important what?
Army.
Richard says
music show.
Best dressed
furniture
soldiers.
and interior design fair.
Oh, of course.
Kid you not.
Oh dear!
collab.
Send me a link.
Watches designed to be
I'm
worn
sending
outside. Now for inside.
Official timepiece of Italian frontline divers. Yeah. Okay.
Let me delete.
That's that big news out of Panerai this morning. Don't say we don't bring you live breaking news in the watch world. Right, I don't know who we were at to. We've done David. Let's Ripley. Actually, no, Azad, as soon as you've joined us, your watch highlight that we can decide whether we agree with you on. Give us a brand that was there.
So I'm
It's going to be Tudor, isn't it?
No, it's Gigi Le Coudrin. And I'm still sticking with the worldtimer for me.
Right, okay.
The Reverso worldtimer.
GLC, because my French accent's not as good. Nope. I'm sorry. Immediately disqualified because the opening scene on the website is people on horses playing polo, and I am a polo denier that GLC ever had anything to do with polo. So immediately it's a miss. But so which particular watch? This one, the minute repeater.
No, the worldtimer.
The worldtimer, the worldtimer. This one. Let's discover some more about the worldtimer. There we go. The Reverso Tribute Geographic. At least it only has 3 words, so it does score bonus points for having a short name. What was particularly exciting about this for you, gentlemen? Did you get to try this on at all? Nope. Nobody saw it in GLC stand. Didn't even go to the GLC stand.
It is a cool piece. It's very, very nice. I did manage to have it on my wrist for a couple of minutes. It's a Reverso with an interesting movement on the backside. I like it. I like it a lot.
On the backside.
Not my favourite out of the new releases, but yeah.
I'm loving that. You've described it as a movement on the backside, and Azat in the chat has just described GLC was on fly with a flip watch. Yeah, maybe both of you somewhat underselling the unique selling point of this watch. It's a flip watch, which makes it sound like something you'd buy for 99 cents at a corner store. And the backside watch, that seems more appropriate. So there we go, front and back. We can do. It's even got a nice wee anime. Oh, let's do that again. If we can do that live on screen, tune into the show on YouTube. You can see us flip it virtually.
It's great, so you don't have to look at the map all the time.
Okay. It does seem quite compact for a world timer on the back.
It's one disc.
That's all I'm saying about it. Yeah, right. Let's stop sharing that and vote. Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Is it a maybe? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'll give it a hit. Just bygone. Well, let bygones be bygones in terms of the old polo. And it's a hit. Right. And Azad, most disappointing of the show?
Oh, I think I'm going to go for the Hublot Sapphire piece.
No.
The Masters of Sapphire piece.
Hublot. Box of Sapphire. If you ever needed a box
Master of Sapphire.
The Master of Sapphire. Here
and
we
Saxum.
go.
It's so strange that for being the Master of Sapphire, it's not even all of the Sapphire watches. They had to put Saxum in there to get a bit more color variation. Also strange that considering it's the Master of Sapphire, they didn't include a single color of Sapphire on the warm side of the spectrum. It's like all blues and purples type of tones. And they have made, not very well, I might add, red and orange and pink versions of it. But I was surprised we saw none of those play a role in the Master of Sapphire box.
I'm just trying to find the box itself on their own microsite. 20th anniversary collection. Where is it? Because that's not it there. That's all the colours. There was the big full range of They don't seem to be speaking about it on their own microsite for Watches and Wonders currently. Let's see. Keep going down. Titanium, Magic Gold.
Yeah, you're not going to find it.
All Black. No, we're not going to find it. It's there somewhere, but it does not appear to be there. Have we got it on our own site yet?
I don't think they're Big Bangs.
I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Big Bang.
They're Mecha 10s. They are
we've got it on,
Mecha 10
the
watches,
Sapphire ones?
We've got it on here. Here we go on aBlogtoWatch. The hands-on Hublot Big Bang 20th anniversary Master of Sapphire watch set. In all the various colours, because if you want one Sapphire watch, why would you not want to collect them all? So what was particularly disappointing about this, did you feel, Azad?
It just looks like a swatch for me. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the aesthetics at all.
I mean, they've still got the USB docking station on them, so that seems okay to me. They've not lost their essential DNA. 605,000 USD. How many watches does that get you exactly?
5.
5.
Yeah.
So 110. Yeah, that's quite expensive. To Americans, that's $792,000 if you want to buy that as of now. Right, okay, hit miss maybe on Hublot. 1, 2, 3, go. I quite like the old Sapphire. Never worn one. Well, never worn one outside with any risk of dropping it. There we go.
Well, Philip Klein has you covered if you like transparent watches and do not have $600 and something thousand. Expect full coverage on that one, but we do not need to discuss that further today.
True fact. Right. Who else have we not had? I can't even remember. I'm losing track of our own show. No, I don't think we asked you. Give us your highlight and lowlight. Where are we going to for your best fave of the show? It's the one time a year Ariel has to make a decision when he nominates his favourite thing.
So much emotion. I don't know. Which direction do I take it? Look, I thought Tag Heuer's Formula One Solargraph was a very cloud-pleasing watch. Yes, it's maybe expensive for what it is, but it's probably still the most affordable watch to be debuted at Watches and Wonders.
At the show.
They're going to be coming out with a whole slew of colors over the next few years. It's a good platform. It's solar. I saw them making them at the Tag Heuer factory, so it's sort of cool to see them being put together. There's a lot of care that goes into them. They're not made cheaply. These are just really fun. The raised hour markers and some of the new updates make them look like a higher end thing, yet they still have that approachability and fun of the originals. This is the one watch that like every member of Watch Media says, I want one of, right? There's no other watch of the show like that. So this was, I guess the thing that I lament a little bit is that it's not a new idea. It's just like I'm falling into the trap of like, oh, it's a reissue. How cool. But it's one that they haven't done before. And there's going to be one of these out there for everyone. So I think over the next several years, it's sort of like the moon swatch that I actually want to wear, right? I thought these were pretty well done, even if they're not the cheapest things in the world. Again, they're still, they're amongst the most affordable. And
can you explain? I was going to say, can you explain to me where the solar element is? Because these watch faces look pretty solid to me. Whereas the solar graph on the...
I saw the dials themselves. If you shine a light up to it, it goes through. Remember, not all light needs to go through. The technology is not just it's basically licensed in a sense from Citizen through Le Jeu Paret. It's a sort of complicated thing to make it Swiss made, but it is essentially at the end of the day Citizen technology, but produced in Switzerland. It has a good amount of battery power. It charges relatively quickly. But again, this uses some of the special translucent polymer dial technologies that Citizen originally developed.
Well, bear in mind that Japan's only subject to a 24% tariff. Maybe Tag will suddenly they'll advertise it as being a Japanese watch, so it's tariff.
I mean, they will do well in Japan. That is true.
I like how the image of the watch on Tag's website is displaying the current time in the location of Rick, who is the one viewing it. I think that's a cool touch. The hands jumped all the way to the proper time. That's, there we go.
Not a new feature, but yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
So does somebody else want to log on to the same site and I'll share their screen, or they can share their screen?
Yes, it uses their time on their computer. It's not that complicated.
Yeah. So if I change the time on my computer,
wow, okay.
I don't know if I can do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Yeah, let's not do that. Right. Well, that's quite cool. That gets a good positive vote from me just because it's a cool feature on the website, if nothing else. And they are pretty cool watches. Right. So hit miss maybe 1, 2, 3 go. Hit. Maybe. Why is it a maybe from you, Kevin?
I'm just not convinced. It's a movement from Citizen. The colours don't represent anything to do with Formula One. I don't think they don't represent any of the cars, the Formula One cars.
They do actually.
It's just, to me, it's just.
Go on then, Ariel. Tell us which colours represent which cars.
The first one, the red, black, and white one. That's McLaren. That's specifically for that. So they do all have a story.
Wait, can we see all of them side by side?
I'm trying to see if I can find.
So this is dark blue. That's not the Visa.
Also, the Formula One clocks are going to be this. So it's kind of going to be cool for people that the clock they see, they can buy the watch of, and that was actually never the case. You couldn't really do that much.
There you go. So who races in yellow and black?
Well, not anymore. It would have been Renault.
Okay, blue and white.
The Williams, I guess, because
who races in stainless steel? Anybody?
Haas, white and red, or the special edition Honda themed livery of Red Bull this past weekend in Japan. Then we have Ferrari, and I that green and red. I don't know. That's the Kick Sauber car after it's wrecked into something red, I guess.
It's been suggested that computer animation is very expensive, and that's why these watches are 1,500 quid. Good stuff.
That doesn't seem that terrible. I was more balking at the price of the Kith collab pieces. At least they're solar. At least they're solar. Like solar tag 1,500.
They're very nicely put
Not great, not terrible.
To be honest, I haven't actually tried one on. Well, what size are they? Are they what? 37?
38.
38s.
38 mil. They're tiny.
I will say this about Tag.
They used to be 35.
Now that Tag is doing the clocks for Formula One, we have a running seconds hand on the countdown clock on the racetrack. That's kind of nice. Before it was just like you're looking at this date just looking thing, and at some point the hand goes and okay, now it's time to go. I like how when you're seeing the clock, and I'm sure the cameramen at the Formula One track appreciate this, it does have a running seconds hand, and so that's sort of nice. I think that I don't aesthetically I don't love it, but I think the new clock is an improvement over the old clock for Formula One. So thank you to Tag for that.
Good stuff, right? Ariel, most disappointing.
I'm gonna go with that Cartier with the little windows on it, the Guillouchette, whatever. It was ugly back then. It's ugly now. I understand they got to try to recycle everything, but that watch, I don't know. It's not pretty in any way, shape, or form, or legible.
Yeah,
and
so
Bremont
there's
also
two
did
versions of it. There's the tank. I don't know how you pronounce that. Doesn't really matter. Yeah,
the name is about as pretty as the watch. Okay, so
yeah, it's a strange looking watch. Yeah, and as to why you needed to produce two versions of it,
to sell more.
I'm really not entirely sure. Sell more, yes. Okay,
I mean, they're both bad. They're both just. I remember that. Yes, this used to be a thing. They tried this in the past. As soon as they didn't have to make these, they decided, no, this is terrible. I mean, this was a way of making a watch that didn't have a crystal that broke easily, right? Like, if you're in a situation, you need to have as least space can break as possible. You play polo. Yeah, this is the polo watch, right?
You could play polo with this watch.
You could. But the second you were done with your game, you're like, let me take this horrible looking thing off.
Yeah. Anyone see it also in real life, Kevin? Did you get to experience this?
Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to see this particular piece. It looks great to me. I prefer the gold version to the platinum. It just doesn't look right with the offset dials at 45 degrees or 90 degrees. I don't know what they've done with the dials.
They're weird emoji faces. That's really all they are.
Apertures are weird, but on the gold one,
like a weird winky thing.
Very nice, but I'm sure they're trying to gouge you on this particular piece. How much is it? Does anybody know?
Oh, don't ask, sir. Do not ask.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it. The art of metamorphosis is at the heart of Cartier watchmaking.
What?
Which, like a magician, defies time and its appearances. Bunkum.
That's their loading page?
Balderdash. That's their home page. The art of metamorphosis. You get minus 1,000,000 points for that. Right, and it's still well, is it loaded or is it just no? The website is still loading.
Right.
We get which door would you like to go through?
Oh wow!
It's all changing.
Oh, it's as bad as the watch. Oh, they're really trying.
Okay, let's.
Oh god!
Oh, there's music. How do I switch the music off? Oh, there we go. Get rid of the music. There's a Cartier exhibition opening at the V&A. There we go.
Remember before World War II?
What I want to know is there a live chat? Oh, it won't let me close it. The website will the close button does not work. I am stuck in an eternal loop of Cartier.
Metamorphosis is a slow process. Come on.
About it. Yeah. Need help. Do I ever? Hello, guest. Thanks for chatting with us. Hello, I'm Pepper. I'll bet you are. To better support you, can you tell me which situation... sorry, this is our live chat segment. We did this. To better support you, can you tell me which situation most closely matches yours? I have an invitation. I bought a ticket. What is this about?
What?
I have an invitation. I bought a ticket. Neither invitation nor ticket. I think I'm neither invitation nor ticket.
Don't flirt with the AI during the show. Come on.
You don't have an invitation or ticket. How can I help you?
Oh my God.
Accreditation.
Where does it think you are? Whose website is this?
I don't know, but I'm intrigued. What is your request? How can I get invited?
Oh, this is the Watches of Wonders website. This isn't the Cartier website. Okay.
I found an answer to your question. Did the article answer your question? Almost certainly not. I'm not going to open it. To answer your question, I need some information to pass on to our agents. What's your email address?
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Confirm in chat. Close chat. Right. Final watch this week we've been asked to look at in the chat, and a brand who don't seem to have been talked about very much at all. But maybe that's because their chief executive has upset so many people, and that is Patek Philippe. Specifically, they would like us to talk about the 6196P, which is not this. Discover more. We need to go and find which one's the 61. It's all just numbers to me. Which one's the 61? Oh. Discover all new models. See websites and watch brands. Right, let's find the 6196P. 6196. Anyone know what the 6196
I have no
looks
idea
like?
what that watch
6196. 6196P. That will be this one. This is a really dog-looking watch. Right, okay, sorry, go on. Right, anyone got anything to say about Patek Philippe and Watches and Wonders, or this watch in particular?
Yeah, this is the one show that I've been to where Patek Philippe was an exhibitor where no one had anything to say about Patek Philippe. It's usually much of the chatter around the show is about the new Pateks, obviously the new Rolex. Nobody I ran into brought up Patek or had anything to say about them. This watch is just a new version of an existing one. It's lovely, but whatever. It's nice. But Patek, they've lost their mojo, and I don't think any of us care. But this was, at the end of the day, when they have they're basically oxidized gold, the black hour markers in the hands, and they provide great contrast. But we like it because it doesn't look like a modern Patek with, shiny everywhere.
Breaking news beats in the chat. I feel like this is the equivalent of a radio show prank calling random people. I'll not tell you the exact shows that I used to do that on, but I do recall phoning Urwerk live on a podcast to check how they pronounced Urwerk. And I think it's probably also called the Lego shop for various reasons. Something to do with watches. I can't quite remember that. That's what we called the olden days back in the day. In the chat, those. This 6196P looks like a Frederic Constant from Borisic. Yeah.
Frederic Constant knows exactly the color palette they're coming out with next year, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Did anyone come up with and use the mocha brown? This is probably about as close to that Pantone said was the color of the year.
Oh yeah, no, there was one. There was one. Oh gosh, which one is it? Alongenzona.
Alongenzona, right? Okay, we'll collectively vote Alongenzona and Patek in one big mashup in a moment to close our show.
The Odysseus Honeygold had that that was the brown dial. That's what it was. I knew I saw it somewhere.
Brown dial.
Yes.
There was some brown. There was some brown in Patek's catalog. If I'm not mistaken,
wait for it. Scroll more.
We're scrolling.
Oh God, so much minute repeater.
So much scrolling.
Hurry up.
No, just type in Odysseus. You know how to spell it? Come on.
No, hold on a second.
You can embarrass yourself on the live podcast. Can't spell a Greek name.
2 seconds. I need
so many Y's and S's.
I don't have the key. Just hold on 2 seconds. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves momentarily.
Alongenzona had a little baby watch at 35 millimeters. It looked like a toy version of their other stuff. It was adorable. They were very incensed that I called it adorable and cute and small. I'm like, your whole point that it's tinier than the other ones, and you're weirded out that I call it small. And the minute repeater was very compact. It had a great sound.
I'm back.
Great sound.
Right, let's find. I can't find this brown watch. We'll just assume it was there.
You can't type Odysseus? Right. Really? It's not on there?
I can't. Well, not into the Alongenzona. Okay, Odysseus. Oh, no. O-D.
There we go. See, they made it easy for you.
Family. There you go. Made it easy for me.
Not that one. Is it not on their website? It's got to be on their website. So like them to not have their new watches on their website, right?
How can
like 5 years ago, that would have been something.
Shall we contact an expert?
Oh, gosh.
No, not there. I cannot see it. They do not appear to be proud enough of it. Is it maybe not outside date?
No, it would have showed up under Odysseus. Okay,
click
the regular one.
I'll click
on the one on the left.
I'll click on the regular one.
Oh, there we go. See?
There we go.
That's it.
That looks about right.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go. And on that note, let's give it a hit, a miss, or a maybe. 1, 2, 3, go. It's definitely getting a miss because anyone that goes for that Honeygold, that's just nonsense. Right. Okay,
when you want to spend 3 times the amount on a Rolex gold watch, Odysseus.
This is the way to go. Good stuff. Right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us, everybody. And we will see you again in a week or so's time. Cheerio.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.